Okay. Hey guys. Back again, as always. How's everybody doing out there? Just setting up pretty much the questions that were bestowed upon me for this Q&A, as always. Doing it a little early because the month of September, I plan to do two. But then, as I said before, I was giving you the info on the first, which is now, and sorry about that. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be telling the second, so you're just gonna have to show up for that one. But pretty much 11 people put questions down on the video, which is cool. And usually, I always expect, that's usually the other questions come from the live feed, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But this time around, we are talking about a very, very, very fond memorable character, a character who has been around for now going on almost 30 plus years now. Almost 40. It's almost 40 years since this character's been around. And I was a huge fan of him as a child, still am to this day. He will always be the first childhood hero that I had as a child. And that's HeMan, the most powerful man in the universe. I go way back with HeMan, like perhaps most boys that grew up in the 80s. We go way back with him, and we enjoyed his world. We enjoyed his supporting cast. We bought the toys. We bought the swords that usually came with it. We watched his animated series, and we even went and watched the first live action movie. And I know a lot of people are probably going to ask me that question. I have not looked at any of the questions that were laid upon me, so I'm wondering if that question is going to be asked. But all in all, guys, there is a lot that I got to talk about with HeMan, and I had to do a live Q&A about HeMan. It's just like, gotta do one for HeMan. I cannot not do a live Q&A discussion without, especially for my theme Q&As. It's like, even if you aren't a fan of HeMan, there still has to be a part of you that respects the character. It's just, maybe there has to be, but for me, he is a character. He's a beloved character. He is a character that I love to the day I die. And I'm glad to see that he's still in the spotlight that he is, especially with the comic. And Eternia War has been great. Chris Yosh, there's a new script coming out, working on for a new movie, which is great. I would love to see him back in the spotlight in terms of the big screen. So yeah, it's just a lot to talk about with HeMan. And let's start getting to the questions, shall we? So let's check out these questions. Okay, so let's check this out. So okay, we're gonna start with we're gonna go from how they were presented. I'm gonna go top to bottom. Actually, I'm gonna go top to bottom. I asked you guys to, on the announcement vid, I said you got 6 questions. Some asked 6, some didn't. That's fine. So we're going to start with, let me make sure. Okay, we're going to start with John Nevington. And his first question is, would you like to see, who would you like to see, would you like to see a movie about the origin of Skeletor? Would I like to see a movie about Skeletor? Um, I wouldn't mind. I'm not saying I wouldn't say I wouldn't mind it, but I mean, we have seen over time, origin movies of villains. They recently did no, not recently, but they did a movie about Hannibal Lecter, showing him as a young man. How he became who he was. Where it was, I think it was straight to DVD. It was showing him during World War II, and they kind of went into detail saying, yeah, he's older, but showing case where he got an obsession of cannibalism and then things like that. And I never really watched all of it, but from what I did watch of it, it was okay. And we have seen movies where movies of origin, like what made this character who they are. We do it more often in comic series, and sometimes it's more plausible in the comics than in movies, because we're supposed to, in movies, in the sense, we're supposed to have a kind of a connection with the characters. You know what I'm saying? And kind of get a little bit of understanding why. I mean, a prime example of just showcasing a good origin story is when who did it? I think it was Jason Aaron's from Marvel did a 5-part miniseries of the origin of Thanos, and you had Simone Bianchi do the artwork, and that miniseries was great. It just showcased why the Mad Titan himself is the way he is, and showcasing the day of his birth, his mother wanted to kill him because she saw that he was evil. It was just like it was a good series. It was a good mini. His obsession with death and things like that. So, an origin story of Keldor, uh, who, as they say, is actually He-Man's uncle. He is the brother of King Randor. I wouldn't mind seeing that, showcasing his fall from grace and things like that. So I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Next question. Next couple questions coming from Sing Kwan. He asks me, "Hey Chris, here's my questions. If you were in the Masters of the Universe as a character, who would you be? Are you talking about an established character or just a creative, an original character? But if you're talking about an established character, probably would be He-Man. If anything, main character He-Man, supporting character, it would probably be. It would probably be. Let me see. Who would it be? I think it would be Cyclone. I always thought Cyclone was cool. So yeah, that's who those characters would be. If it was an original character, I don't know. I would have to come up with a name. Not including Skeletor, Hordak, and King Hiss, which villain catches your most attention? Okay, outside of the big three of He-Man, other than the other villain, I would go with would probably be Evil Lyn. I always liked Evil Lyn. I was like, yeah, something wrong with this girl. Like, and especially when they did her kind of her origin in the New Adventures, the last animated series, and showcasing this woman is on par with Skeletor, and Skeletor is a little bit scared of her in a sense. That's why he keeps an eye on her, and why he has her on her team. So Evil Lyn was always up there. I thought Evil Lyn was just great. I thought I don't know. Too Bad was always cool. Clawful, uh, Trap Jaw. You know, there's too many characters I enjoy. Next question is the Sword of Power, uh, the Sword of Protection. If you had your own sword of spray skull, it what would be the name of it? Sword of Power, Sword of Protection, Sword of Divine. There you go. How's that one? Next question. What's your favorite version of the Masters of the Universe? Oh boy. I'm gonna exclude the original series because I would go with that one. But if anything, outside of that, in terms of the animated series, I would probably say the 2002 version. That was a good combination of what I was looking for with for Eternia and just in terms. So yeah, so yeah, that would be it. Next question is, with no spoilers, thoughts on the current He-Man comic by DC? Spot on, great series. Not gonna spoil anything for you guys, but yeah, it's good. It is really good. Abaddon does a good job with that series. Poham, who does the artwork, is great. It's good stuff. If you could add anything into the movie with in the 80s, what will it be and why? Thanks, Chris, and peace. All right. If anything, if you're talking about the current movie, the best thing that I can think of for adding into a new movie of He-Man, two things. That hasn't been at Battle Cat. You gotta have Battle Cat. And Orko. You need your kind of comic relief, and Orko was that. But he can be a very prominent character to the universe. So yeah. John Middleton, you asked me, do you think the man was created to be different from other heroes? He-Man was created to be different from other heroes when he was created. Um, Not necessarily, because if you remember back in the days, especially in the 80s when the action figures came out, every action figure had like a little miniature comic in there, and that Mattel would add with the series. I remember vividly. I used to always ask my dad to pick up a He-Man toy for me when I was a kid, so I should know. And in every issue there was every action figure there was a little comic in the back that would kind of showcase He-Man in a different light. And in the comics, He-Man was almost like a barbarian-like character. A little bit of, I said, a little bit of Call, a little bit of Conan, characters like that. But also when you look at it, He-Man is a little bit of Captain Marvel. Like I said, I don't call him by his new name. He's also a little bit of Prince Valiant, King Valiant. I say also a little bit of a Superman as well. With especially with the whole identity. Look at the 80s. There's no way nobody can tell me. There's no way that the people of Eternia couldn't tell themselves that Prince Adam and He-Man were the same person. The only difference between He-Man and Prince Adam, okay, He-Man had a tan and spoke like with an echo. His voice kind of echoed, but other than that, it was like no different, you know. So hence, when they did the new, hence when we did the new, when they did the 2002 version, they really put the emphasis on here's a boy becoming a man, and I thought that was really cool, like showcasing when he became He-Man, when he said, by the power of Grayskull, and you saw him, he got bigger, so it was a better version of concealing his identity. So I really enjoyed that a lot. I like that much better. But yeah, he was a combination of a lot of characters, but he still became his own character nonetheless. NX57 Y tier. Hope I'm getting the name. What character of He-Man of the He-Man's universe deserves his own spin-offs comic or series? Evil Lyn. Evil Lyn is a villain that deserves one. As for heroes, uh, depending on now, but I think Stratos could use one. Um, Let me see. Stratos. I would say maybe a little bit of Mossman. I think Mossman could do it. Showcase. Mossman is so more in tune with Eternia. But nonetheless, there's a lot of characters I can see. Like I said, Cyclone. I've always liked Cyclone. So yeah. Next up. Next up. Would you like to see Molar Molar in an animated series? I'm trying to remember Molar. Who is Molar again? I'm trying to remember him. Um, Damn it, I'm trying to remember. Let me make sure I get him right. Oh, you're talking about that character from Robot Chicken. No, I don't care about that at all. No, I don't. So no, sorry. Uh, you think that the concept of He-Man given the do you think the concept of He-Man given up after each chapter can operate today or are already obsolete? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It's just that there's certain people, certain things, about He-Man that certain the way that, especially now, the way that DC Entertainment has gone with He-Man, they've really turned it around and really have actually, how can I put it? Have actually broaden the scope of the He-Man world now. So no, I don't think it would be obsolete today, but just the way they're going now with it works just the way it is. Um, Remember the episode where He-Man goes to Eternia and meets Froza? That was hilarious. Uh, Let me remember. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember that. Just had to get a look at the character again. Yeah, I remember that episode. It was. I don't remember laughing too much, but to each his own. Everybody has their form of humor, but I don't remember laughing too much. But I thought it was cool. Um, in your opinion, what has been the best toy, and which is the worst? Best toy. Uh, Best toy. That's a hard one because I've had so many of the He-Man toys. It's really hard to say. Uh, Once I got the Power Sword, the original Power Sword, I was loving that thing. I remember having that and just loving it. I used to take that thing everywhere. uh, Worst? I'm not sure. I would say in some way the worst. Well, personally, from my experience, would probably be Battle Cat and Panther because they were so easy to break. Like they were not durable. Like you just drop them a little bit, they just break apart. Like they could just come apart. Battle Cat and Panther. That's you know, Skeletor's big cat. They would just break apart so easily. Or somebody step on them, they just break. Another one I think for personal experience for me personally would be Too Bad. You know, Too Bad was another toy that just would break really easily because they didn't make it the arms the same way as all the other action figures. How they did it was Too Bad was his arms were stuck up like here on like his shoulders, and they would move apart like this. You know what I'm saying? So you pull them back too far, they break. It was like they weren't durable enough. So yeah, from those are from my personal experience. Yeah, that's what I would say. I'm speaking from personal experience. I remember I probably had probably five battle cats and panthers because they would break so easily with me. It was just the way they were. So, but thank you for the questions. Uh, Moving on to Andre Pardrick. Patrick, who is your favorite He-Man villain? That's kind of a no-brainer in a sense. Um, it's always been tied with Skeletor and Evil Lyn because I've always liked those two the most. But and then then you got your Mermans and your Beastman and Trap Jaw. I always thought he was cool because he could remove his arm, and put a different arm piece on him. You know, Too Bad was okay. Stinkor, Jesus Christ. Yeah, there was a bunch of characters. What do you think of the He-Man movie from the 80s? Yep, I was right. Here we go. All right. Honestly, at the time that I saw this movie with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, Frank Legata, Legla as Skeletor, which he is going on record to say Skeletor was probably his favorite role he's ever played, and I thought he did a good job as Skeletor. At the time I saw this movie, my father took myself and a bunch of my cousins to see this movie, and at the time we thought it was great. It was like, yo, He-Man live action, whoa, it was great at the time. And then you see it through adult eyes, and then you're like, what the hell was I watching? It's like, what is this? He-Man with guns and lasers. It looked like it was a combination of it's like it was a combination of Star Wars and Flash Gordon and things like that. It just, when you look at it now, that's how it looked like. It did not really have the essence of He-Man, and that's the one thing I'm hoping that the next one, first of all, keep it off of Earth. He-Man does not need to be going to Earth or anything like that. Yes, his mother is an Earthling. Um, King Marlena is a Earthling. If you want to take it from the '80s version, yes, she's an Earthling, and I think they still classify as still an Earthling in the new series too. But other than that, keep it off of Earth. Don't have no. It got really stupid. Just if you look at the concept of the movie, it's really dumb. It's just like, it just, I didn't like it. Sure, Dolph Lundgren looked the part, and he was big enough to play the role, but he was no. In terms of character wise, no, he wasn't. That, especially that line. I'll never forget that line where where He-Man willingly gave up to Skeletor because his forces had He-Man and all of them. I think he had Man at Arms, Tila, and some other the characters that you know. I forgot some of the human characters in harm. So He-Man gave up, and Tila's like, He-Man, don't do it, and he says he says, Tila, I have no choice. I don't want people to die. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, what is this? I was just like, what? Ugh. And the character they had to kind of represent the Orko of the team, it was just like, what is this? And it like I said, you watch it through adult eyes, you're very disgusted by it. But if you watch it as a kid, you're like, this is great, but then you watch through adult eyes, you're like, what was I watching? You know, and just the fact that he was He-Man all the time, like and then he says the famous words at the end, and it was just like, okay, the battle between, and then when you get souped up Skeletor who looked like a Shogun warrior was just like, it was just like, but at the time, but now you watch it, it's like, what the hell was I watching? Sorry, I'm sorry. And if anybody likes it, that's fine. They still like it. That teach its own. But me, I'm just like, it comes on, I'm flipping the channel. I'm flipping it. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's watch something else. Yeah, that I don't. I can't watch it. I can't. Who is your favorite female character from He-Man? Besides Tila, I would gotta go with his twin sister, Shira. So yeah, gotta go with her. The you know, the, I thought she was great. Besides that, like I said, Evil Lynn, she's a female character. You who Your next question, who do you think is the best villain, Skeletor or Hordak? Uh, mm, that's a hard one. I can't. That's a hard one. I can't go. I can't really. They're neck and neck in my view. They're neck and neck. Uh, that's just me. What do you think of the death battle between He-Man versus Lionel? I hated it. I'm not a big fan of the death battles. Period. I don't like any of them too much. The one that I did like, I'm not gonna lie, was the Snake versus. My brother showed me the Snake versus Sam Fisher. I thought that was well crafted because honestly, Snake would beat Sam Fisher. I thought that was. I thought that was. I thought that one was really good. I'm not a big fan of the death battles too much because they're going against some of the characters, logic. Like they did the Spider-Man versus Batman. Peter killed Batman. Like he killed him, and Peter would never kill anybody. Um, the one with Lionel and He-Man, the battle would not go because here's one reason why. Soon as Lionel would try to attack He-Man, unsheath the Sword of Omens, the Sword of Omens wouldn't come out. It would get stuck in the claw shield sheath because the Sword of Omens would recognize He-Man's, his true nature, his pure of heart, and so it wouldn't work. It'd be just like, and He-Man would just not attack Lionel just out of, you're here to harm Eternia. I'm gonna kill you now. No, that's one of the things that I on some of my videos that I do talk about He-Man. Just recently, I saw some comments on there. People were talking about we never really seen how powerful He-Man really is. And this other gentleman wrote about it, and he even said it in good detail about there's a reason why we've never seen it. is because of the fact that He-Man's not trying to kill anybody. He's not trying. He's defending Eternia, but not in means of killing. If he wanted to, he probably could kill a lot of his people, put all his strength into a punch and obliterate somebody's head if he wanted to. But he doesn't do that. But of course, there's going to be a sense of, why does he call himself the most powerful man in the universe if we don't get to see it? But it is what it is. And He-Man is, but he is a character of great honor and dignity and respect. But in all honesty, yeah, in all honesty, I'm not a big fan of the death battles. Never have been. I probably never will. Some will kind of like catch my eye. I'm like, okay, that was pretty good. But in some, these guys leave out some crucial info for each character, and I'm just like, you know. But thank you for the questions, Andre. Let's move on to the next. Burnout or Seven? Sorry, guys, hold on. The typical spot. Oh, it didn't get stuck this time. Chokeslam himself. Okay. Oh my God. Right in front of the ref. How stupid. Wait, no. Oh my God. Oh my. Okay. It is what it is. Anyway, okay, let's move on next. Burnout or Seven. You asked me what would He-Man and the Master Universe think of Godzilla? Um, as long as he ain't attacking Eternia, fine. If he attacks Eternia, then yeah, He-Man's gonna come to Eternia's aid. So yeah. Next up, what would you want to see from from a new He-Man movie? Do you think? Okay, what would I want to see from a He-Man? Keeping it true to the sort, keeping not keeping it keeping a lot of the source material in the movie, showcasing. I just go into detail with this stuff. Battle Cat, gotta have Battle Orko. Having the supporting cast of Eternia. Not just Tila and a very decrepit looking Man at Arms. And because I'm not gonna lie, the guy who played Man at Arms in that last in the '80s, man, he looked like he looked frail. He looked like if he this is a you got in the battle with him, you can kill him. He'll pass out from exertion. So you got to keep it true to a good combination, a mixture of the animated series and the comics, if need be. Um, do you think that He-Man and the Master Universe would get along with the Avengers? Yeah, of course. He-Man, of course. He-Man and his cast, they would get along great with the Avengers. Like I said, I did a video. We're talking about what would Thor think of He-Man, and same thing. I think He-Man, Thor would, especially Thor would look at He-Man and respect the hell out of He-Man. Be like, you're a defender of your realm. You defend your people and things like that. I respect that. Cap, I think Cap would respect He-Man's leadership skills. Um, it'd be great. They would be great. Uh, He-Man and Tila meet Deadpool and Dante. What happens? I don't know. Uh, that's are we talking about Dante, Devil May Cry Dante, or somebody else? Because I don't know. Just it'd be weird. That's just too weird for me. I can't think anything. Kind of wanted to keep that. I really, but thanks anyway. Uh, Evil Mastermind. Would you write a new He-Man TV show? How would you write a new He-Man TV show? Uh, hmm. How would I write it? This could be saved for my creative for my creative series. So I might have to leave this alone. But pretty much, I think if anything, a new TV series, He-Man would really go into the origin more of Grayskull. That's how I would do it. More of just showcasing King, Grayskull, like where the concept of Grayskull before Prince Adam and all them. That's how I would go with it first. That's pretty much it. Your next question is, how would you have Shira? How would you have a Shira series spinoff of this new show? If it was a Shira, since she is Randor and Marlena's and Adam's, she's Adam's twin sister. So basically, the way they did it in the original series was she was taken away from she was taken away from Marlena. She was kidnapped from Marlena and King Randor, or they sent her away for safety. I kind of keep that essence of it, but change it a little bit. Um, but yeah, kind of keep the essence of the original series, but add some twist to it. Um, so thank you for the questions, and let me see what's going on in the question logic below. Damn, got a lot of questions. Um, Hold on. Got who? Don't let me just. Let's see. I'm probably not gonna be able to get all these questions, but I'll try. I'll get to you guys soon, Danno, and I'll get to you guys soon. Let's see what's up. Next questions come from Miko Trammell. Uh, what? Who would be He-Man's main rival if they were? Wait, who would be He-Man's main rival if he he were a guest star in Soul Calibur? I doubt that ever happened because he's under DC and Warner Brothers. So, um, but it'd probably be Nightmare. Yeah, so, has He-Man traveled to parallel worlds? If so, what did he or they did in each of those worlds? If I recall, he did travel to parallel worlds in some shape or form, and he got to see some of the characters act differently. Like I believe there was one where back in the original series he traveled and it was kind of flipped in a sense in some way. Like some of the allies that he had were the villains, and the evil Lynn was like good and things like that. It was weird. So he has He-Man ever gone back in time? Yes, he has. So that's another one he's done before. Thoughts on the alliance between He-Man, Lionel, Thundar, Conan, and Red Sonja? Good lineup. Uh, it'd be really cool to see. Um, I think He-Man would probably might look at Thundar and look himself and be like, hey, you kind of look like me in a sense. Uh, so yeah. Next up, questions coming from the Princess of Geeks. Uh, and she was able to get. Damn, I just missed the deadline. Yeah, I remember I had a deadline for the questions. Uh, damn, almost missed the deadline. Honestly, but first question. Honestly, do you think Chris Yost can write a good script? You put a good script for the new movie. Honestly, I think he could. I like Chris Yost's writing. I think he did a good job with series. I mean, he did good jobs with Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He's the one that wrote Thor, and I don't blame him for. Some people didn't like Thor, The Dark World, and all those, but he's writing the next one, Ragnarok. But I think he can write a He-Man as long as he keeps the essence of He-Man properly. Fine. Indeed. So yeah. Uh, Let me see. Next question is, who's your favorite ally to He-Man? Favorite ally to He-Man? One of his, like I said, it's probably Serena. It's probably Cyclone. I love Cyclone. Um, so yeah, he's one. There's so many, but he's up there definitely. Um, should Orko be in the new movie? And and do you feel that Mechanic gets a bad rep? Okay, well, those two questions in one. All right, I'm gonna let that slide, Serena. But yes, Orko should be in the new movie. Definitely, definitely. Orko should be in the movie. He should definitely be. And I think, yeah, I do kind of think Mechanic does get a bad rep. Because I think some people just like he just all he does is just stretch his neck, but he's the scouter of the group. He can scout out a situation really good. Like instead of just going blindly into a situation, neck and neck, scope it out real quick. Stands his neck, looks around, and he's got like different versions of eye vision. But he's great. He's a he's a good character nonetheless. And even though I'm not gonna lie, especially for guys who especially for those who are part of my DC site, DC Elite, we do have a He-Man writer over there, and I'm gonna spoil this for you guys. He killed off Mechanic. He killed him in the first issue, and I asked the writer Sid, why'd you do that? Like, and he didn't say it because he hated the character. He just say he was trying to showcase that everybody is vulnerable now in this series. He wanted to showcase that nobody is safe. In my series, nobody's really safe. You can get killed instantly, or especially with this new villain that he introduced into the series. So yeah, it was good, and so yeah, go check out DC Elite. Sign up to the site. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Next up is who would the Sword of Omens hurt He-Man? No, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt He-Man. It wouldn't even come out. Lionel tries to pull it out, it won't. So I always wondered, what is He-Man's max strength? I don't know. We've never really seen his maximum strength, like how strong he really is. Like we've seen him do feats of strength that are just like, whoa, he's pretty strong, but we've never seen like what is like his maximum strength, like how much he can lift. Like for example, it's known that Spider-Man, his maximum lift is 10 to 15 tons. He can lift up that much, but how much we don't know how much uh he can lift. So no. So yeah. So yeah. Next up, your next question is thoughts on all the animated series. Okay. The original is beloved in my opinion. It. I'm not saying that it hasn't aged. It has aged well, but it always each episode had a message that I thought was always good in each episode. Um, the episode in the He-Man series in the '90s, the one that where they kind of went really more like Star Wars with him, I didn't really like too much. That was kind of my least favorite of those. I didn't really like that one. Where I think He-Man is like in the future and stuff. Like I don't like this. Um, and then the last series I thought was a great mixture of what I was looking for He-Man. So yeah, that was great. It's probably one of the best remakes of a classic series ever. It's probably one. It's up there. It's probably one of the best '80s cartoon remakes or reboots. I thought the Thundercats reboot was gonna follow in their footsteps, but it didn't. Next question, the Spawn. What is your favorite look for the Power Sword? Um, the original is still one of my favorites. I still love the classic look. Um, I'm not gonna lie, the movie version that they had, I thought that was a good look too. And I also like the sword, how the Power Sword looks in the last the 2002 series. I thought that was like a key, ching ching, or to unlock ching ching ching, and it was cool. I thought that was cool. I did not mind the Power Sword in the '90s series, but it just thought it looked too lightsaberish. I was just like, no, I don't like that. Um, Next question is, what do you think of a He-Man Predator? I should have known. That's why anytime I get a question, I'm always expecting a Predator question coming. I wouldn't mind seeing a Predator He-Man crossover to some degree. Um, I don't I don't think I don't think Eternia would not be in the realm of a Predator coming there. Uh, but I think in some degree the Predator has to deal with not just technology but sorcery. So yeah, it's going to be a lot different for him, you know. Um, and then in other respect, he better not run into Beastman because who knows? Beastman could probably control the Predator. He is kind of like a beast. So yeah, so there you go. What would happen if Tila was in the world of the Lord of the Rings? That's kind of where I kind of want a He-Man movie to kind of feel like the Lord of the Rings world. See how that world was? That's kind of how a He-Man movie should feel like. That's a perfect example of how the He-Man world should act and be the same thing, no different. What would the Master Universe reaction be if they saw Gundams? I don't know. That's too kind of far fetched out there. Like that's really out there. Like, you know. But it's just giants. They're just giants, and they've dealt with giants before. Man at Arms would probably be more interested in trying to figure out could he make one. So there you go. Blue Goblin. It's always good to see Gabby. He asked me, "Oh yeah, let me ask away. I have the questions. I have the questions. If Marvel were to do a war with the Master Universe characters, who would face? Who would they face? Ah, hmm. Because they did He-Man versus the Master Universe versus Justice League or DC, but they just had him versus DC. I would literally think, to some degree, I could see Loki manipulating the situation and have He-Man and them face off against the Asgardians to some degree. There you go. Like Loki would see He-Man. This guy is powerful, and he would want He-Man to attack his brother Thor in the sense. So yeah, there you go. Let's next up question. Should there be a He-Man video game similar in the fashion to the Batman Arkham games? Uh, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that it's not plausible, but I'm also saying that it would be kind of interesting. It would be interesting. I would see a. Let me see. I would. It could work, but I also see them doing a He-Man game similar to like the Dynasty Warriors game. A hack and slash. Or But I can also see them doing a He-Man version, a He-Man game similar to God of War, Asura's Wrath, things like that. Yeah. Okay. Next question. What was the most shocking moment so far for you in the current He-Man comic? I don't want to answer this too much because it would ruin it. It would spoil a lot for people who haven't read it. But just even, I would say one of the things um, that happened. What Man, see, I don't want to answer this question because it'll spoil some things. I can't really. I don't want to. I'm not going to answer this question, Gabi, on the fact that, bruh, because this will spoil or ruin for some people who have not read the series. So I don't want to spoil that. I'm sorry, I can't. I want to answer, but I can't. What do you think He-Man was? What when He-Man? When do you think He-Man was at his absolute obsolete absolute worst? Probably the 90s. I say the 90s. Say the 90s with, like I said, when they that last He-Man where he was in this future and stuff. Ugh, I that was to me that was the worst. Speaking from experience, I did not like that series at all. Um, the next question is, what if what uh what it what it would what it would make what would make more sense to do a He-Man crossover or a He-Man Red Sonja crossover? Do you What would make sense? Do you to do a would it make more sense to do a He-Man crossover or a a He-Man Conan crossover or He-Man Red Sonja. How about both? Um, I could see them He-Man crossing over with both of them, just all three of them in a series together. It'd be really cool to see He-Man meet probably one of the greatest barbarian characters ever. Some of the two of the greatest barbarian characters ever. I think in some degree, Sonya would want to face He-Man in a battle. Like, you know how Sonya is. Like she was like, okay, she wants to prove herself against those top warriors. So, and she would look at He-Man like. But I think one of the interesting things to see if they saw He-Man transform from Prince Adam, like, whoa, like, like, whoa, so it'd be kind of interesting. But that's all the questions that were bestowed upon on this series. Let's see if I can get to the questions that have been put now. And I can't really see them. Why are they so? Um, Let me go to the. Let me look. Control room. Okay. Let's see. We have. Okay. Okay. Danno, once again, happy belated birthday to you, Danno. I know your birthday was last week or this week. I know it was one of the this week. So happy birthday. I'm not sure how old you are yet, how old you are, but happy birthday, belated birthday. But you asked me, the Guardians of the Galaxy crash land on Eternia. What happens? Depending on which Guardians we're talking about. We talking about the way they portray them now. It would be interesting, especially for Gamora and um, Ronan. I mean, not Ronan. Drax. But still, if they crash land, I don't think He-Man would be shocked at some of the characters. A talking raccoon, I've seen worse. Talking tree man, okay, a green woman, I've seen worse. So, but he would probably be like, "Are you friend or foe?" So it'll be kind of cool. So Chris, do you think a reboot He-Man can work like the 2011 Thundercats 2011? Adam can start off really jerky and grow into the He-Man. Well, that's kind of what the 2002 series was. So it's no different. He was kind of I like that feel for Adam. That he's not a jerky character. He's just different. So it already happened. It wasn't anything new. Let's see what else we have here. Danno, you asked also. I believe Danno. No, who was that? Oh, that was Black Doggy Claw. I apologize for that. Next question. I know the '80s He-Man is strong enough to move small moons. Yeah, we've seen that, but still, we've never seen his maximum. That's from Danno. Uh, Next comes from the Omnitron. Do you think He-Man could actually take Superman in a fair fight? Actually, they have fought, and at the time, I think He-Man did handle Superman, and this is Superman was, I think, but in a fair fight, depending on which version of Superman we're talking about now. See, that's the thing now, because when they first met, Superman wasn't as, he was strong, but it was at a level of strength that still people could handle him. But now, I mean, they did He-Man versus Superman New 52 Superman, and He-Man actually stabbed uh, Superman, nearly killed him. I was like, shit, like, whoa, the sword of, remember, He-Man is magic. He's magic. So I don't see why he can't handle Superman. Magic hurts Superman. So yeah. Um, Next up, Prince. If Prince Adam has a son, should he pass down the power sword? Uh, it depends because it's similar to the power. It's it's kind of similar to being worthy. You can't just. It's not you, but I don't think he wouldn't mind. I think the sorcerer, she would look okay. Next question is I own the He-Man movie on DVD. Okay. Um, Next up is question is favorite Master of the Universe pairing. What do you mean pairing? Correct. Give me an example of that one. Are you talking about like teams, like or so? Come back with that one, Danno. What character from other medias do you think would work in the Master of the Universe? Um, Red Sonja would definitely work. Conan yes would work. Thundar. Uh, oh, the New Gods. They would work definitely. The New Gods, yeah, they would definitely work. Um, yeah, the New Gods. Some degree, the like I said, the Asgardians could work too. Yeah, there's a couple. Daniel, you asked also. I think I asked you this once. Damn it, Daniel. I think you. Damn, what was it? I just saw. You asked me this once before. It's like, how would you do a Thundar He-Man team up? A comic or a cartoon? Uh, Kind of both. I do both actually. I think it would be both. I think it would be interesting to see, but I think they would have to do it where Thundar and the gang are either transported to Eternia some form, instead of He-Man coming to Earth, apocalyptic Earth, which still to this day you you look at, if you watch Thundar, which I love, and you listen to the opening of Thundar, and you listen to how this Earth became it still makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Okay, and like I said, I've gone over the record about that plenty of times. Dang, now the questions are coming really quick. I can't get them. Okay, trying to catch up to the questions. I want a show with Man at Arms. Okay, be interesting. Thunder. Oh wait, wrong show. Uh, Bonus question. Who asked this question? Bonus question from Sinquan. Going back to when you did the "What would Thor think of He-Man" video, what would Loki think of Skeletor? Uh, we need to team up, but I don't think it would work out because Skeletor's got a big ego, and Loki has one too. Next up, thanks, Chris, and for my birthday, and my birthday was Monday. Yeah, there you go, Monday, and I'm 26. Happy 26th birthday. There you go. Next question comes from the Omnitron. What would happen if Korra from Avatar had the power of Grayskull? Oh shit. Um, So you're talking about she already has the power of the avatar. She already has the avatar power, and she has the power of Grayskull in her, which she needs a sword. It'd be interesting, but I can't really see uh Korra with a sword. It's just that wouldn't fit well with her. So, but it'd be cool though. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be cool. Uh, boyfriend girlfriend pairing in I don't know, Danny. That's weird because He-Man Tila has always shown that she has some kind of attraction and affection for He-Man, but she has never allowed it. Um, and so, but I would love to see a series where it's both a new series where it's this brother and sister, He-Man and She-Ra together. Is that all the questions? I think that is it so far. Um, so yeah, that'd be fun though. It'd be a lot of fun. Uh, that'd be a lot of fun. Hold on. Oh crap! Oops! I got a question from Twitter, and this comes from Brian. Oh, Son of Light 85, Brian Hutchison Jr. Hey Brian. Uh, big question. 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 What He-Man is a prince, correct? Uh, yeah, he Prince Adam, his alter ego. Yeah, he's a prince. His father is King Randor. Um, I guess you never watched any of the He-Man series, but yeah, he's not the king. But in the current series now, see, I can't say anything about the current stuff that's in the comics now because I'd spoil it for anybody who's never read those. So I can't, I'm not going to answer any questions that are about anything about the current product right now. So no. Let's see who else is. Next question is from the Amtra. If DC somehow lost the New Gods, could you see? I just talked about them. They. Oh wait, could you see them trying to set up the Master Universe as the sort of replacement to a certain degree, but they're both under DC, and we've actually saw. So yeah, to some degree. So to some degree, yeah. And we got a new knockouts champion. And we got a new knockouts champion. Gail won the belt. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Next question is from. Okay, almost time to wrap this up here. A little bit longer. I give it 10:30. If He-Man and okay, this is from Miko Tramel. If He-Man and any other characters were transformed, Trent were wait that. Hold on. If He-Man and any of the characters were Transformers, what vehicles would they train? What the hell kind I have no idea. I'm not even going into that one. That's a weird question right there. Um, please don't. That don't. Randman returned to a rare. I don't know. That's just weird. That's kind of weird. That's just weird to me. Is that a joke question? I guess because yeah, that's weird. Uh, okay, what do you think of He-Man's new his new look in the comics? Personally, I like it. I like it. I love it. It's a cool amalgam of a lot of amalgam of his old and you know, some of his and a new step. It's really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I even like how he upgraded the sword of power. Like it's so it's really cool. Indeed, I personally like it. I like it myself. Like it a lot. Um, so yeah. Hmm. Okay, next question. Yeah, you guys got to. It's 10:09 now. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up at 10:30 on the dot. So yeah, guys, keep them coming. What would happen if DC made He-Man the Master Union more prominent, prominent, more prominent, like He-Man on the Justice League? Oh, okay. So basically, having He-Man be a part of the Justice League, that'd be interesting. But I don't think it would work because, especially now, what's going on now in He-Man, um, he's just too needed on Eternia. It's like, and that's the thing. Is He-Man is. I can see him maybe as a uh, a. I can see him more of a like almost like an on-call member, like if they need him because he's just too much needed on Eternia. He can't really be going to another team and stuff like that. So yeah. So next question, but I'm not saying it would be bad. It'd be kind of cool. What would happen if He-Man ever fought Doomsday? Could he take him? I think he could. I think He-Man could. Not That's going to be one tough fight, but I think He-Man could take Doomsday. I think he could. Who asked that question? The Omnitron. Yeah, I think he could. I think he could take. I think he could take Doomsday. Uh, it'd be a tough fight, but I think he could. Uh, that's just my opinion. Opinion is very. I think he could take. I think he could. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Oh, Brian, got a question once again popped up once again on Twitter. Son of Light 85 asked me, uh, do you have wait, oops, sorry. Son of Light 85 asks me, if I wanted to get into He-Man animated wise, where should I start? Where should you start? Where should you start? Easy, easy, Brian. Start looking for these DVD sets. You know, there was only 2 seasons of the original series. They're broken up into different volumes. This is well, season 1 of volume 2. As you can see, it's got on the back. And you got these things have some great special features on them. And this is season 2 of season 2 of volume 1. And you got some of the characters on the back and things like that. But yeah, so yeah. And then if you get all 4 DVD or boxes, DVD sets, and if you put them like this, that it'll form Castle Grayskull on the back. So yeah, those are good stuff right there. Omnitron, yes. Do you think who do you wait? Damn it! Who do you think was more deadlier? Who do you think was deadlier, Skeletor or Hordak? Ah, um, uh, Gale. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Uh, uh, Man, that's a hard one. The, Depending on now, especially how they write Hordak now, yeah, they seem like Hordak was the man. Is that they make Hordak in the comic series similar to how you're not supposed to talk about like how remember in like Harry Potter how they you're not supposed to mention Voldemort, like he who we do not speak of, like that's how they mention they can like. But I I had a they were like this for me, so that I can't really say. Um, Next up is what do you think of a He-Man cinematic universe? Would you want it CGI or live action? This is from Miko Trammell. Bless you. Uh, it depends on the CGI because some CGI looks good and some CIG look crap, and um, especially if it's going to be a weekly show, then maybe you should go live action. If it's just based from movie, then yeah, then you could take your time with it, or it could be like just what it is. Next question is the Omnitron. If they made a He-Man cartoon, do you think Skeletor would be the biggest threat, or have Hordak be the second bat? I think Hordak would be similar to. I think in terms of a new series, if they ever did a new He-Man series, they would base it. I think they would base it more off the new comic, where Hordak is more of that kind of that big bad. But Skeletor knows about him because Hordak trained Skeletor in the Dark Arts. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Um, Question. Brian. Okay, Brian, the Son of Light. Sorry. 85. I just read that Tila is the daughter of the sorceress. who is her father. Her biological father, did they actually show who her biological father is? I'm not quite sure. But Tila found out that her mother is the sorceress. But she when the sorceress gave Tila over to Man at Arms to raise as his own. Man at Arms, you do your research and stuff, Brian, and you get into it, you'll know more. They did an episode in the original series that explained it. They also did it in the original series in the 2002 series too, where Tila found out that the sorceress is her mother. It's kind of funny because especially back in the '80s series, Tila looked just like the sorceress. Almost every female looked like each other. It was not even funny. Um, but the sorceress is Tila's mother. Um, so magic is in her. So it's like she is magic. She has the magical capabilities herself. But Man at Arms raised her as his own, and he promised Tila that he would never tell the sorceress. They made a pact that she would never know about her mother. But unfortunately, Tila got really curious and she started using her head and like, okay, what's going on? Who is my mother? And in the original series, she went to the sorceress and was like, I need your help to finding my mother. And she started putting two and two together. Like, why are you not helping me? And then, bam, it was easy to find out. Tila, and that'd be kind of cool if they keep that too in the new movie. Is like the sorceress is Tila's mother. Don't negate that because they negated the hell out of that in the original series. So, yeah. In the original movie. Okay, next up. All right, you guys got 10 minutes. All right. Next question is from the if they made I answered that question. Next question is from the Doctor Doom versus Skeletor. Who went off? Ah, man. I actually did a fantasy fight of this. I think I did, and I actually said Skeletor would lose. Doom, he knows magic too. He knows magic. He knows alchemy. And he's a threat. That's why he's by far, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest villains ever created. He is a major threat, and I'm gonna go Doctor Doom. I'm still gonna say Doctor Doom. Skeletor is great, but Doom, he is. So you could put Doom in his own category by himself. Like that's just me personally. Um, if if is it safe to say that the characters like Maitor and Young Samson helped inspire He-Man? Yeah, characters like that, characters that came out before He-Man, Young Samson, Maitor, Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, and what he's called now. They all inspired He-Man. Conan, all those barbarian characters. Yes, inspired He-Man. So yes, indeed. Uh, you guys keep got 8 minutes. 8 minutes. We're still going. So yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that episode of the 2002 series. Yeah, talking about So let's move on. I think there were some questions. What would happen if Shao Kahn and Outworld invaded Eternia? They better be ready for a fight, Perry King. They better be ready because He-Man is going to defend He-Man, and the rest of the Masters are going to defend Eternia to the bitter end, like they always do. So, yeah. Captain Marvel. Thank you, Omnitron. Thank you for using the name. I know some people ask me why you don't like Shazam as his name, because it makes no sense to me. Why would you call your name Shazam, and that's your name? That's how you become the character. So he's like, I'm Shazam. Bam, you're turning back into Billy Batson, and people that should be played up more in the series. But they don't. It's just really. I really would question DC on that. I'd be like, why did you call him Shazam? I know y'all have some kind of thing between Marvel and with their Captain Marvel and things like that and blah 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is, look, he's called himself, the wizard's name is Shazam, so he's invoking the wizard's power to become who he is. So why don't you just call him something else? I mean, it doesn't make sense. But okay. But the question is from Omnitron. Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, Dr. Savannah, and Black Adam are stranded on Eternia. How does this play out? There's going to be a battle, but Savannah is so horny for how he is with magic, and he's going to try to seek out the power of the sorceress and everything like that. Black Adam will probably look at the people of Eternia and be like, I can conquer these people, and if he's able to get the drop on, maybe knock out Billy he's gonna try. He's gonna run into the defender of Eternia, HeMan, and it's gonna be another battle and showcase. Yeah, the quote unquote ants have a defender. So yeah, there's gonna be, and then Billy and Superman. I mean Billy and Superman. Billy and HeMan will meet, and they'll team up probably to help to protect Eternia. There you go. Next up is Shao Kahn and He-Man would be a kind of a fight I would want to see, but then I'm just like, uh, to a point of I'm like maybe, but then I'm like if Liu Kang beat him, He-Man could, and Liu Kang has no powers or is any kind of yeah. So yeah, think about that. Think about that a little bit. But yeah, I could still see it. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see it, but I could just saying. Uh, what would happen if Shao Kahn? No, oh, I just answered that question. That's from Perry King. Uh, who is this? Mika. What are areas of Eternia Skeletor or Hordak most want to conquer? It's not a means of areas they want to conquer. They just want Eternia, period. There are different Eternians. There are different. Eternia is like a mixture of cultures. Like you got the Mystic Mountains and you got the Aryans. They're like the bird people. You got the Queen, where Buzz Off, who is a character of he's a bee character and the Bee Kingdom, and then you got but Skeletor and there they don't really. It's not about that. And then you enter the fact of King Hiss and the Snake People. That's also another threat. So there are three threats to Eternia, especially in the dark side of Eternia: Skeletor, Hordak, and King Hiss, the Snake People. And so there's a certain degree, but it's not immense of like areas that Skeletor just wants it all. You know, they want it all. It's not even just like I just want this part. But Skeletor always wants the power of Grayskull. That's pretty much where he always goes after, is trying to get the power of Grayskull. He wants that power. Perry King asked me, what would Billy Bats and Captain Marvel think of He-Man? same thing. Like I'm looking at a mirror image of myself. I'm, in a sense, depending on which He-Man we're talking about, because if we're talking about 2002 version of He-Man, where it's kind of a younger, I think in that series, Adam was maybe 15 or 16 years old, and then he grows into the man He-Man. So it'd still be kind of cool. Um, is that up? Okay. So definitely that'd be a kind of a certain degree of it'd be kind of cool to see. It'd be kind of cool, very much. Hmm. So yeah, it'd still be cool. I can see them just shaking him. I'm Captain Marvel, and I'm He-Man. Like they're both beings of magic. You know, sorry, because they're like, because let's face it, who remembers Superman, Batman, Most Wanted? What did Billy say in that music? You've never been a match for me. You never was really good against magic, and magic is what I'm all about. What all about. So yeah, it's just how it is. It's cool. Um, so I'll answer this last question, guys, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. If there's any questions, if you leave any other questions, I'll try to answer them later when the video uploads. I'll answer them later on. But this is to be the last question, and it comes from the Omnitron. Do you do you think that the most epic He-Man moment is him saying, "I don't have the power, I am the power"? That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. But of course, his most iconic line is "I have the power." It's and of course, why the power of Grayskull. He just takes that out. It's classic. To this day, that is probably some of the most classic lines. It's by the power of Grayskull, and I have the power is right up there in my opinion with Avengers Assemble. Things like that. But thank you guys for answering the questions. I had a lot of fun as always. Thank you for participating as always. I really appreciate when you guys participate in the comment sections, read your questions and things like that. You guys know where you can find me. Follow me Twitter, Tumblr, uh, Facebook. I will be bringing another Q&A at the end of this month, I believe. Fortunately, that one will be live. I will not be doing an announcement video for that one. Um, for that one, it's just going to be live video. Be there or be square. There you go. But other than that, at the end of the month for September, I will be bringing another theme Q&A. I will tell you this much: it stays in the realm of the 80s. I will tell you that. But other than that, you guys take care, and take care.